What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the AMG Podcast. We are here today, January 2nd, 2026. Starting off the year right. Got the fellas with me. Got brother Larry Woods, Travis Helm, Craig Cooper, and AJ Lavender. What's up, fellas?
What's happening, everybody? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's, man. Y'all excited, man, for a good year? What? Come on now.
No, it's
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. It's time's flying. Time is flying. It seemed like we just had a Happy New Year conversation about going into 2025.
yeah.
And we're going into 26, man. Time flies. And I think with that, we're going to have some good conversation about because time is flying, probably should start getting some things in order. We got a little video we're going to talk about today and have some fun, man. Before we do that, I would love, because I think this is important, man, especially for people who watch. I want to talk real quickly about what we're grateful for going into 2026. Ooh, that's a little sidestep for y'all right there. I'm gonna start with you, Trav. What are you grateful for going into 26, man? Or what are you looking forward to? Grateful, looking forward, whatever. What do you want? What's on your heart, man?
Um, I'm grateful that there's a strong foundation to operate off of. Right now, I feel like in 2025, myself and a lot of people were really building foundations for their business, for what they need, for what they're doing. And I think even with AMG, we've really made a lot of investment in our foundation. So
Mm-hmm.
we're launching into this new year off of a strong foundation. And I'm really grateful for that because I think that's like the cornerstone to, what's needed, even with the products we offer.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, cool. What you got, man? What are you grateful, thankful for going to 26?
Oh man, a lot. But I'm grateful for, the health of myself, my family, you all. Um,
Mm,
I know a lot of people who didn't make it through this year. I know probably 10 people my age that I
mm.
went to high school or college with that are no longer here. And so as you get older, you really start appreciating life and you start really appreciating your health because without that, your foundation would never be rock solid.
Mm.
I'm grateful for you all, right?
Oh, man.
To work
All
with.
warm and fuzzy. Thanks, man. We love you
I'm
too,
grateful
man.
for the clients that we have and for the people that were able to go through this paradigm shift and really start,
Yeah,
believing and understanding what we're doing.
yeah.
And as we
That's
go into
awesome.
2026, I'm grateful in advance for all the folks who are going to jump on board.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Just Brother Woods, what say you, brother?
Uh, Grateful for life,
Yeah.
breath in this body. Grateful for health, me
Mm,
and my family, and this brotherhood at AMG.
yeah, man.
Grateful for the opportunity to help more people, change more mindsets, um, get them on a solid foundation,
Yeah.
and a launching pad to the rest of their lives financially, right? Looking at things different. So, yeah, just grateful for what 2026 has to offer. Like you said in the beginning, this time is flying,
Hmm.
or should I say, um, the man upstairs has his own time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we pay attention to it, it's either fast or slow, but he is consistent, right? That thing is consistent. That time is consistent. So when we look
Hmm.
back at it, we looking at it from a point of maybe life has been lifing, right? Or we've lost some loved ones, or anything of that magnitude. Um, but yeah, time is of the essence, is what it is.
Hmm. Hmm. That's good, man. I
So
didn't mean
we
to cut you
gotta.
off.
I'm
Oh, good. Amen.
grateful for
Yeah.
the time that we have, and we're not wasting any in 2026, fellas.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. And that's the urgency right there, man.
Yep.
We're not. I love it. AJ, what say you, brother?
I'm just gonna hit a repeat button on what Larry said.
On there.
You can
Just
skip
play
me.
Larry
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna do some AI stuff. I'm gonna put my face on Larry's logo.
yeah.
Let's do it.
So then, yeah, I'm grateful for AI. That way we can do something like
There you
that.
go.
Yeah, so I'm just, basically echoing what Larry said. And one of the things I'm looking forward to, man, is just being more intentful with time. You know what I mean? Like I said,
Yeah.
people going away, being intentful in relationships, being able to just slow it down personally and make sure that, as we always say, Mondo, you return on time, right? This is the most valuable asset we have. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
like,
I'll keep mine short because I could talk for an hour on this. I'm grateful for life and health, my family. I'm grateful for revelations that I've had, that I've been given. Um, Not all of them felt good, but I'm thankful for them because I see the growth and the purpose in it, even when it stings. Grateful for all you gentlemen. Highly grateful for all of you and our brotherhood, our efforts, our partnership. Grateful for all our family and friends and clients who entrust us to assist them in their journeys. People from all around, literally now the world. That's amazing in itself. Like when I really sit and think, Larry, and you and I were talking about this recently, like it blows my mind that God has given us the ability, the acumen, the heart, the compassion, the whatever, the favor, whatever you want to call it, the blessing of connecting with several humans from around the world, literally, through a screen. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. You really think about that, man. Phenomenal. So I'm grateful for the fact that we've experienced this thus far. I'm like, well, if that's possible, what else is possible? If this has happened so far, man, you teeing this up for something else, and I'm so excited to see what it is. And I also know, at least for me, I'm excited for having brothers around me, just from a personal side of growth, accountability, reflection. Because I've learned in my life, man, getting better and going through the sting of that process is much more fruitful than hiding from the process and trying to find comfort. Submitting to the process and going through that sting of, oof, this is painful, but I learned something. That's less painful than running. And I'm grateful that I've come to that realization some years ago, but also I'm maintaining that posture. I'm thankful for that, the sustainability of that mindset that I haven't cowered. I'm willing to take the licks on the chin, Woods, right? And learn and grow. So yeah, man, this is a phenomenal time to be in. Like we said, time is moving quickly. And I agree with you, Coop. There's some people that have passed this past year and that I've gone to school with, grew up with, some friends of mine that have, or even clients even who have lost loved ones, and lost a client early last year. So yeah, it does increase the sensitivity to life itself. And what you say, AJ, slow down, right? Smell the roses and don't take things, people, or opportunities for granted. So yeah, man, this is good, dude. I'm thankful for this lady we about to watch in this video because she broke some stuff down that is going to tee us up for a phenomenal conversation. So, brother AJ, you can go ahead and share the screen, tee it up for us, man. We'll watch her, take a little notes, and have a little healthy discussion for about a hot 40 minutes. How about that, fellas?
Let's do it.
All right. I don't even know this lady's name.
You need 3 types of life insurance policies. Write this down because you're not coming back to the same videos. You got 100 in there. You're never going to watch them again. So here's what you need. So number 1, you need a term life insurance policy. Yes, I know it's term. It expires, but trust me, you need a policy with 10 times the amount of coverage. It's super cheap. You can convert it later to a permanent whole life IUL policy. This will help you get the actual amount of coverage you need for your family because that $50,000, $100,000 of coverage is not enough. Number 2, get yourself that cash value policy. Grow some money, get tax advantages, protect your money from market losses. Plus it's permanent insurance so it doesn't expire. And this last one's not for you, but it is for your aging parents. Get your parents a final expense policy. This policy does exactly what it says. It covers the final expenses, the burial costs. It makes sure that you don't have to come out of pocket for your parents. God forbid something were to happen to them. If you're ready to get your life insurance policy started, comment below. Bank and my team and I are happy to help. So you actually need 3 types of life insurance policies. Write this down because you're not coming back to the same videos. You got 100 in there. You're never going to watch them again. So here's what you need. So number one, you need a term life insurance policy. Yes, I know it's term. It expires, but trust me, you need a policy with 10 times the amount of coverage. It's super cheap. You can convert it later to a permanent whole life IUL policy. This will help you get the actual amount of coverage you need for your family because that $50,000, $100,000 of coverage is not enough. Number two, get yourself that cash value policy. Grow some money, get tax advantages, protect your money from market losses. Plus, it's permanent insurance, so it doesn't expire. And this last one's not for you, but it is for your aging parents. Get your parents a final expense policy. This policy does exactly what it says. It covers the final expenses, the burial costs. It makes sure that you don't have to come out of pocket for your parents. God forbid something were to happen to them. If you're ready to get your life insurance policy started, comment below. Bank and my team and I are happy to help.
All right. I don't know the lady's name, but I'm gonna call her Trish or Trina. I don't know her name. I'm just making something up. No disrespect to her. Anyway,
Shout out to Trish.
Trish, you like Trish? Trish,
Shout out to Trish.
Shout out to Trish. Oh man. All right, cool. So I've got some notes here and some thoughts. First, we want to thank her for sharing some, I believe, great information. The other gentleman, Ray on the side pointing. Thank you, man, for confirming some things or affirming. What do you guys think, man? Anyone can jump in. What do you guys think about what she said and had to offer? Is she on point? Is she not? If she is, why? If she's not, why? What are y'all thinking? Somebody just jump in.
I'll hop in on one.
All right.
And it's because we've already talked about again my theory on the term policies, how I think everybody should get one for a reason of the season. But the one I want to focus on is number 3. And this comes from our experience, Mondo. I know the guys really haven't had too much experience in the final expense sector. But this right here is something that I thought about, and it is, to me, one of the most pivotal things that someone should do. Because as we both know, with final expense clients, they could sometimes be tough. You know what I mean? It's more of a emotional based type of conversation rather than logical. But converting it into where you're talking to the beneficiary and the persons that receiving it instead of the actual persons that's getting insured is just, it's so genius, but at the same time too so simple that it's overlooked, right? Because then it's such an easier conversation, because we both know how hard some of those conversations are with the insured, trying to get them a final expense policy. But if you just skip the insured and go right to the beneficiary, it changes that conversation back from emotional to, again, logic again.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point. It's emotional for the insured.
Yeah.
It's logical for the beneficiary. Let that sit. If you're an insurance agent, hear me out. If you're not an insurance agent and you're potentially a beneficiary, it makes sense, right? Yeah. It makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you got an older parent or a cousin or aunt or whatever that's up in age, and you need to make sure that you're not getting hit with that responsibility later on of paying for a funeral, then you probably want to look at being the beneficiary of a final expense policy. I'm gonna go hard in the paint on this one. Is that cool, fellas?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go hard in the paint on it, because this right here is AJ. Everything you said, that was a phenomenal thing. So that's point number 1. I'm gonna co-point you on that one. I'm right there in the canoe with you on that one. I'm gonna add to the fact that I'm gonna tell a story too, because I think y'all really get a clue in. I do think it is for, the older parents and stuff like that. Last I checked, what Woods was saying, how time is flying, I'm aging too. Mm-hmm. So maybe my parents and I need to get one, you know what I'm saying? Because I've got children, and to them, I'm an older parent. Mm-hmm. Right? So to what the lady said, I agree with her wholeheartedly. I agree with AJ's point wholeheartedly. I would add a point saying, yes, that's true. Do that. Now, don't forget that you're human and you're aging too. And if you have children or people that are around you that will get hit upside the head with a funeral bill because you died, take care of them. There was a lady I talked to one time. One of the funniest stories ever in final expense. I actually had Selena in the field with me. This was years ago. And she wanted to go out in the field. We had talked about a long story there, but we go out in the field. I sit with the lady, Miss Margaret. She is logical and emotional about it because she's lost her husband previously. She understands the funeral process and all the drama that goes behind that. She didn't want her daughter to go through that. Okay. Makes sense, right, Woods?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Miss Margaret's on point. While we're sitting in the living room talking to Miss Margaret and getting her straight, her daughter walks in. And her daughter walks in and is not happy that we are there. She is giving me and Selena the business. Like, why y'all here? Y'all taking advantage of my mama and blah, blah, blah. And she's going crazy. I'm like, what are you? Your mom's trying to take care of you. That's what I'm thinking, right? Your mom's trying to take care of you. So Miss Margaret said, ignore her. So we talking to Miss Margaret. Now she's ladies in the kitchen going off about how we're there. She's kind of passively, aggressively talking about how we don't need to be in the house. We need to leave, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, and Travis with all the neck stuff too, right? All that. With all
Slamming cabinets, banging pots.
Yeah, slamming cabinets, yeah. All that mess. And so I had it. She hit the button, AJ.
Yeah.
And I was still polite, but I said, excuse me, do you want $15,000? Pardon? Said, would you like $15,000? She poked her head out. What are you talking about, sir? I said, I'm having a hard time getting you straight. I'm trying to get you $15,000. And for some reason, you have an issue with that. I know if my mom was trying to get me $15,000, I'll be helping her sign the doggone paper. But for some reason, you're giving me all kind of crap when I'm trying to help you get 15. Your mom is not going to see anything. She's gone. She's passed. I'm trying to help you out. Man, I'm not understanding. Why are you in the way of that? She walked away back in the kitchen. She didn't say nothing else. She didn't say nothing else. Miss Margaret got the policy. She's straight, blah, 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 blah. Because she heard because I had to kind of correct her a little bit. Like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to help the beneficiary, AJ, get $15,000 on a death benefit. So when your mama dies at the time, and this was probably 10 years ago, Miss Margaret was like 73, 74 years old. I hope she's still living today. All right. But there's it's like, okay, well, I noticed that Miss Margaret had grandkids. The kids of the one that's giving me the business. Should the one that's giving me the business get a policy too? Yes. Right. So it's kind of add like a little third point to what you were saying, AJ. It's like, yes, for the olders, but it's for us too.
Yep.
If we're getting older, here's what I know. Everybody on the screen and everybody listening to us right now is going to die and somebody's getting a bill, period. Ain't nobody getting out of that. You're dying and somebody around you is getting a bill.
Very well said.
Handle that bill. I've seen and being a final expense, I've seen so many tragic situations. I shared that one with our older brother Larry, not you Woods, but the client from years ago, right? The phone call I can't unhear. Excuse me. So I would add that point of final expense. We can go to the others, but that right there is huge, man. That's nothing to play with. If you say, man, honestly, if y'all can kick back on this, tell me what you think. I think that's the most important of the three.
Yes,
it's the foundation.
it is the foundation.
Because you said it's going to happen. It's inevitable.
It's not an if, it's a when.
The beneficiary is sitting in the generational gap. So you have the responsibility or the mindset to take care of the generation in front of you and your own kids, which is the generation behind you.
Yep.
Beneficiary is pivotal.
Is that. Okay, let's play this out and we can go to the others, man. I really want to color this in for people. And I'll try to keep this as quick as I can, guys. I'll get long-winded. Let's play this out. I'm putting it in my lap. I die. What's the first thing in a matter of 24 to 48 hours that Selena's gonna have to deal with?
A funeral.
Your arrangements.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the first thing that is coming. Okay. Is she worried about the cash value of a IUL?
No.
Is she worried about any other policy other than the fact that I need money now? Because there's a funeral director, like, here's your bill, ma'am. What's the best policy to take care of that? Final expense, because it's built for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's built to pay quickly. So that way, that first week is taken care of, because your term or your whole life of any sort of like larger, it's not going to pay out in a week.
Mm-mm.
It's going to take some time. It's going to take weeks and sometimes even months, depending on the carrier product and if there's contestability. This one, immediately. Now, so say Selena gets the final expense benefit, funerals paid for, arrangements are done, and she's able to move on without having to go into sort of debt or paying for it out of pocket, right? Coop, everything's straight. That's all I had, though. I don't have term. I don't have whole life of any kind of permanent IUL. I have nothing, but I had that. Is that a win? Is that a W? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why?
It's one less thing she got to worry about.
I mean, it's also a crucial time when you've talked about clients going through that process.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is that when someone's mourning and they're trying to wrap their head around what just happened,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to talk to family and they're trying to talk to all of these people, it's the easiest time to be taken advantage of by a funeral director
Yes, sir.
and or anybody else that's involved in, putting together what the arrangements are going to cost.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that having the policy not only covers it, but also really the main thing is it allows for the company or the carrier to handle all that. Like have those conversations, read through an itemized bill and make sure that they're not overcharging. And because I mean, when someone's mourning, like how it's not likely that they're going to sit there and comb through the details of the bill, nor do you want to do that. Why would you want your loved ones to have to do that when they're trying to process and figure out and call family and everything else? Having the carrier just handle all that is probably the biggest sense of relief. And it's also going to allow that family member to make the best decisions for everything else that's coming.
Yeah. Dude, a person may not have a whole lot of money to leave or a whole lot of resources to leave behind. I get that. Life is life and for some people, and you may not have a bag of money to leave for legacy. You may not have a house to leave or cars or boats or whatever. But I promise you, if you take care of that daggone funeral, you're going to feel like they left you $1 million.
You're not going
I
back.
guarantee the beneficiary they're not going to complain that you didn't have anything else to leave them. If you handle that first week, if you get your parents straight and handle that first week for you, I told the folks, hey, we wanted to make what y'all got going on. You know what I'm saying? What's going on over in this area, this department? Kind of fill me in, clue me in. I need to know that y'all, okay, let's add a little, you have, okay, well, we need to get final expense though, because y'all have this other that's not designed for the first week. Just get you know what I'm saying? Because what am I doing? I'm trying to give myself a gift. Coop, I'm trying to hook us up. So we can have, it's not going to fix it, obviously, but I mean, geez, can we get a blanket? You know what I mean? It's like, can we get a financial hug? You know what I'm saying? Like something. just to kind of get through that week. And so we have to worry about the burden of the planning and the finances and all that stuff, right? So I think this is one of the most important ones, if not the most important one, of the three. What else did she say that struck? So AJ, start off. You teed it up good, man. I knew you knew what you were doing too, going to final expense first. You knew what you were doing. Mm-hmm. What else struck you guys, man, about what this young lady said? Oh, Trish. I hope she sees.
I say if she sees this video now.
Her whole approach is like, and the iron umbrella. Everybody needs the iron umbrella.
Yeah.
That trifecta is almost ironclad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So you start with term. She started with term. Trish started with term. Let's start with term.
Okay, cool. There we go.
So everybody's got bills, right? Everybody's got, well, most people's got mortgages, right? And you, whatever the amount of time on paper it says that you're going to pay this mortgage off, then your term should cover that, whatever that expense is. Right? It just makes sense.
Right.
Along with whatever else you got in the home financing or whatnot. It should cover that. So term makes sense.
100%.
It's a no-brainer.
It's I kind of call it the old crap policy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap, somebody died before we thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what bills do we have? Mortgage, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's, oh crap, my husband died before life expectancy. We thought he was straight. And he was the sole breadwinner.
Yeah.
I need income replacement. Boom. Okay. That's how I view term. What's the stat? Only 3% of term policies in America ever pay a claim. Now let me make sense of this. That's fact. It's like barely 3% actually of term policies in America from insurance carriers in America actually pay a claim. That's not a slight on the insurance carriers. I'm not beefing with them. It's called mortality.
Right.
People outlive them. I hope to God I'll outlive mine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the goal, Woods. You know what I'm saying? Is to outlive it.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like, you have car insurance. Well, I hope I never need it.
Hope you never need it. Yep.
But just in case.
Flood insurance, fire insurance, whatever. Like I hope I don't need it. That's kind of how I see the term.
Yep.
Okay. It's just that security blanket if something happens prematurely.
Like we always said, it's if, not when.
Yeah, that's an if.
Right.
Right. The term is on the if, the final expense is on a when. Like when that happens.
But if you don't have neither,
when
are you gonna have time to grieve? When are you gonna have time to grieve? You can't even get in that space.
Well, you're gonna be double grieving, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because now you're dealing with funeral, you're dealing with income, you're dealing with mortgage, you're dealing with debt, you're dealing with, and keep it coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Mike Tyson coming at you in his prime.
That's scary.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. Ain't no defense. No defense.
That right there, man, is, and to her point, it is cheap. And you hear people talk about it all the time, like it is cheap, right? Yeah. And we're not going to get into the whole conversation about, buy a term and invest the difference and all that kind of stuff. We're not getting in all that. We're looking at, because here's the real deal, AJ. That whole thing, I understand it's a popular teaching tool for certain individuals out there.
Yep.
How many people actually do that? They're going to buy a term, and that difference, they go into the store. They go to, you know what I mean? They ain't investing in that refrigerator. They know them cigarette. They're not investing in the way it was intended to be. Right?
Right.
Cool. What poked you, man? What old girl was saying?
Well, when I write them down, term, IUL, final expense. If I'm a consumer and I'm not really knowledgeable about how these things work, the first thing I'm going to think about is cost, right? Mm-hmm. And say, man, that term was okay. I know they don't cost that much. IUL, I know it's a couple $100. Final expense, I have no idea. This might be, I can't afford this, without even really understanding how they work and the fact that, term and final expense are not, from a monthly standpoint, don't cost very much.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really about people just understanding how these things work.
Right.
And part is this protection. Your family, you or your family are not protected really without these three. You could have one, okay, final expense to cover burial costs, but all those other things are still out there. Term, if you die, within that term policy, okay, there's a little bit of coverage, but without all these three, exposed, at some point. So I thought it was very informative, and I think that three-headed monster definitely is vital for everyone, right?
You teed me up to go hard in the paint one more time. Thank you, sir. Okay, so you said something about cost, right? And people may say, I don't know what, I think that term is cheap, final expense, maybe, I guess, permanent, IUL, whatever, whole life, I'm not really sure. It's a rhetorical question, Coop. Is it the same price for everybody? No, it's not. Okay. So with that, my encouragement, our encouragement as a crew would be to find out how you can get in at whatever price point makes sense for you, whatever is affordable to you. It can be lower, it could be higher on term, and anywhere in between. It can be lower, it could be higher on an IUL, permanent whole life, mutual profit sharing, but IUL, whatever. It can be high, low, anywhere in between on any of those. And a final expense, it can be low, high, and anywhere in between on one of those. Find your number with us or a professional that you trust. Find your number. But to say, well, that's expensive and never try to find your number, that's laziness and being selfish, in my humble opinion. Find your number. It is not cookie cutter. It is not the value meal where it's the same number one for everybody. No, it is literally, you can figure out, okay, well, okay, this Big Mac, okay, I like the Big Mac, but hey, I might have to remove some lettuce and cheese so I can still get the sandwich. It's not going to be as big as I want it, but I can at least eat. Find your number. Well, okay. So if you do that, what does that possibly look like? Don't know. It's on you, your age, and your finances. Term, find a number that makes sense for you. Because you can do it backwards. Hey guys, would you say this is a good approach? Let's for a term. Do you have a house? Okay, what's the leftover mortgage on it? Do you have any debts? Do you have any blah 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 whatever, all this other stuff, right? And look at a way to kind of revert. Okay, maybe we do like the old crap policy. The term is going to cover that. Well, I can't afford that. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Let's back it down to where you can afford. Let's look at now if something were to happen, it would take care of this. Okay, cool. Now, let's say it's three things that the term policy you want to take care of, but you only have enough money to cover one of those things. Only one. Do you think that your family will be pissed off by getting 100 grand versus 3 grand or 1 million versus 3 million? Do you think your family's going to send the money back and say, that wasn't enough? I'm going to send this. It should be 3 million, but since it's just 1 million, I'm mailing this back. I ain't enough. You think they're going to do that? No. They're going to be so grateful for that million. And they're going to say, I'm so thankful that mom, dad, sister, brother did the best they could do to take care of us, the best they could. They'll be so grateful. But I think a lot of times, AJ, we've seen this, man. The insurers especially will trick themselves or convince themselves that I can't get the number I want, so I'm going to do zero. What is that? I'll let y'all answer that. I can't get what I want, so I'm going to do nothing.
That's just the lazy way out. You didn't want to do it in the first place.
You didn't want, come on. That's what I was looking for right there. You didn't want to do it in the first place. Mm-mm. So find your number. To Coop's point. Yeah, it's like people might see this and be like, yeah, I don't know. Well, that's why you get consultations. That's why you talk to us. That's why you talk to someone who can help you figure out what your number is and what that does. Again, it's going to be different based on what, guys, right? Your age,
health.
Your health. Here's one way to look at it. I heard this a while ago from my boy, Nick. in Arkansas. This is my dude. He said, money doesn't buy insurance. Your age and health does.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's been in front of my face the whole time. I never thought about it that way.
Yep.
That's so true. It is. It's like
Those
basic. It's so basic.
Those questions on the paper.
Exactly. It's so basic. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Because all right, so cool. Say if somebody had a crazy amount of health conditions, right? They're dealing with a lot of life there. They're up in age. If they get declined, there's no amount of money that's going to give them coverage. But they can say, well, I've got $50,000. Company's like, so you have this, and you 79 or whatever. Right? Okay. Trav, what hit you, man?
It reminds me of the house in the presentation.
Yes.
And makes me think of the fact that, all of us care about our family and all of us take care of our family.
Yep.
If we were tasked to take care of our family, we're going to go out in the woods and throw everybody in a tent, and be like, hey, let's survive in this tent no matter what happens, no matter what comes. No.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to build some house with a foundation, walls, and a roof.
Mm.
And that's the trifecta. None of us are going to live in a house without a roof. None of us are going to live in a house without walls.
Right.
Each component matters. And I think what really hits too is that younger folks, I think the conversation about insurance tends to lean towards, even with our clients, people we're talking to, people who get it, people who are looking, leans towards an older crowd. But to your point, health does matter. And if younger folks, I think, would consider building their house early, consider it a lot earlier than like, well, I really don't need to worry about that because the likelihood of something happening to me is so far in the future. What they would also have is better options, lower premiums. They wouldn't be paying as much. And then with the IUL, they're going to have significant cash value that, honestly, if you're going to have the IUL as the walls to the final expense in the term, that's going to pay for the rest of your insurance anyway. You're going to accumulate enough cash value to where you can then pay for the entire house of insurance that you have so that you have everything. But again, coming in younger is going to allow you to have the lower premiums that are significantly more affordable. It's going to allow you to have the flexibility to really build your house strategically and keep it intact. Keep it intact for, and younger folks too. You could keep it intact for everybody. Final expense policies could be, set in place for everyone so that, early enough, you're just not really worried about it.
Man, you could set it up on limited pay options, where if you're in your 30s and you do a 20 pay or on a final expense and maybe a 10 pay or a 5 pay on an IUL, you got this thing riding for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I hear you saying, Travis, is that you're encouraging younger people to leverage their current reality, which is their age and their health. Leverage it.
Correct.
Leverage that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Leverage that.
Because, and it's like the opposite with what younger folks think about insurance, because typically younger folks are going to have car insurance, maybe home insurance, maybe renter's insurance. And typically being younger is a disadvantage, especially with car insurance.
Phone insurance.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. TikTok insurance or whatever. Whatever they care about insuring.
Yeah.
Can't lose my password or, whatever. And, but car insurance, you're at a disadvantage when you're younger. You're going to pay more because you're a new driver, more susceptible to wrecks, etc. This is just flip that. Think of it the exact opposite way, in which, all of these other products, you're at a massive advantage.
About to go hard in the paint again, Travis.
I wish somebody approached me in my 20s and said, and talked to me about insurance for the rest of my life. Making me understand that the cost of insurance is so cheap, or I should say, way less expensive than if I'm in my 30s or 40s.
50s, 60s, and on.
Could you imagine how many young people would be set by the time they get in their 40s with final expense and IUL?
Okay.
Looking
Go
forward.
ahead and go hard in the paint. That's my bad.
Yeah, no, you good. You just gave me got another key to go hard in the paint now. You gave me two. So there we go. Hold on. I gotta write this down. You can keep talking. I gotta write it down because I don't want to forget it. So let me start with Travis's point. Okay. Honestly, I think, and I'm gonna go back to myself. A lot of the young people don't think about it because just the context that it's presented in. When you usually hear insurance, to be fair to the young folks, you usually hear old people talking about it, right? And a lot of times when you hear older people talking about it, they're not talking about it in a way where it's sexy and it seems like you're taking advantage and you're leveraging and it's a fun financial decision and all that. It's usually in some sort of dark conversation. Somebody died, didn't have it. We should have had it, but we didn't. You know, I'm trying to get it, but I'm 70 and it's really expensive. And I feel like they canceled my insurance or try to get back in or had it at work or try to convert it, was too expensive. You see what I'm saying? All that negative realities that people experience as older people talking about a topic that now somebody like us is talking to you about, and you start thinking, well, all I know is, well, why would I do and complain? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's their only reference. That's fair because that's a lot of people's experiences. That was mine. I never heard of life insurance in a positive context unless somebody had a death benefit, passed away, and it was other than that though, right? So to be fair to the young people, I get where the programming comes from. That's not an excuse though. There's information out there for days on how you can leverage life insurance as a young person. You can get a degree on the University of YouTube about that. You know what I'm saying? You can get a doctorate on, on other platforms if you want to, in regards to how you can leverage life insurance. Now, to your point, Woods, here's another thing. All right, GoFundMe. Yeah, I'm gonna let that sit for a second. I dare you to do a case study and look at all of the memorial services that people are raising funds for and get the stats, get the numbers on how many of these people are under 50 in comparison to over 50. I guarantee you more than 50% easy, if not 70% of the memorials that they're raising funds for are people under 50. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Those folks didn't have final expense or term policy.
Nothing. And to throw my own self under the bus, I wish I had somebody like to Wood's point, knock me upside the head. They probably have to knock you upside the head, Woods, but for me, for sure, to wake me up, shake the mess out of me, and say, "Hey, look, stop. You're not invincible. Whatever your ego or this, that, and the other as a 20-something-year-old thinking you know everything about everything, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Sit down, shut up, Mondo, and listen. Let me teach you something." And I think, that's a part of the challenge is that there's a lot of young people that operate the way I operated. I didn't want to hear nothing. I was not coachable back then. Fresh out of school, you couldn't tell me jack. Now I got some lumps for that later on, Woods. Okay. Okay.
We all
But
do.
in full transparency, man, as a young 20-something-year-old dude, I wasn't coachable in this particular world. I was programmed based upon what I was saying about what I had seen about insurance. And then when anybody come to me, I wasn't willing to say, you know what, maybe I don't know everything. Let me hear you out. What are you talking about? Maybe I can learn something. Or maybe I should listen to people that come from a different economic group and stop listening to the folks that come from the same place I came from. You can fill in the blanks right there, Woods.
Yeah.
See, I made the mistake of listening to where it came from versus listening to the people that I said, to the place, like people are in the place to where I want to go. So I'm trying to get here, but I'm listening to there. Trying to get here, but I'm listening to them. Want to hang and be like them, but I'm thinking like these people over here where I came from. That's incongruent. That makes zero sense. That was me. Took some lumps to get over all that. God has an interesting way of humbling you. Okay. Seriously. Especially when you don't listen the first time. Okay. This is another story.
Okay.
All right. But so if you're younger, if you're older, whatever, it's like, I think it was, I don't know who I was telling this to. I think it was my girls. I may have said it to y'all, but the older I get, the more I realize I don't know. Like the older I get, it's like I'm becoming more curious and more full of wonder, like a kid, like a child, like childlike inquisitive nature, childlike faith, childlike desire to just stay in wonder, like in what, where 20 something years ago, 30 years ago, AJ?
Didn't tell you nothing.
I think that has to do with societal whiplash.
Ooh, holla at me. What you talking about? Come on.
When you're 18, the only thing you want to do is leave the house. You don't care about nothing else. You don't care. The only thing you want is for nobody to tell you what to do.
I want to be grown.
And
Independence.
we all went through it.
Yeah,
we see it
yeah.
every day. You see an 18-year-old out in the streets. They're doing the same thing.
Yep,
They're
yep.
on the same thing.
Right.
And I think that then in this society, because you desire that independence so much, that you then go into the world and you put up a front. Then it's all of a sudden I know everything. I got this figured out, and then and to be fair, like when you're first getting into your job and your career, they promote that. They promote confidence and somebody who's able to come in like they know something or whatever. And then, you work through your 20s and then you start to realize like, why am I fronting? And then you work backwards like Benjamin Button, where you go back to being curious and regular human and trying to figure it out. Nobody's got it all figured out.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. And I think a quick solution to all that we've shared, maybe not say it's a solution. Let me take that back. An approach, say it that way. A fair approach. If you're younger and you're hearing us and we sound like some old dudes that are annoying you right now, if you're not careful and you don't heed to the advice of taking advice of people who've gone down the path of hard-headedness, you got a long road coming. But let me tell you, I've seen people like that, and they end up on GoFundMe. But if you can take the advice of people who are in the process of figuring it out, people who have figured it out, you got much better chances of doing what's right by yourself and your family. Because when, obviously, man, insurance, especially term and final expense, here's the biggest part. It's not for you. If you take a policy out on yourself, it's not for you. It's the most selfless act you can do for your family. Is paying a little money to make sure they straight when you die. You're dead and gone. You can't help them no more. The most selfless thing you can do is make sure they straight. But if you especially if you got a family, dude, and you looking at it like, nah, I ain't doing that. After what I just said, got some issues. I'll be nice about it. You would. Got some issues. Okay. But I'm telling you, but here's the thing. Here's what's crazy. Ooh. Guys, why do you think okay, our clients, a lot of people know what we do. Why do you think the most common conversation people want to have, which is totally fine, is whole life and IULs and not term and final expense? Why do you think that? Can I be plain about it?
Yes.
their living benefit.
because those policies are more about you
Mm-hmm.
and not about your family.
Well, I'm also curious what those policies that are about you. And you're talking to folks like if I was in my 20s, well, I want to ask you if you had started, let's say that you covered, you did the whole trifecta when you're 20s,
Yep.
the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
With that living benefit, because obviously you wouldn't have needed to use the term in the final.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, right?
Right.
So the only one that you would have used to this point in your life would be the IUL.
Right.
Would you have been able to finance the house you just bought with that IUL if you'd started in your 20s?
Possibly.
Depending on how much.
Depending, yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible.
I think that there's that too. For folks who, it's like you being able to finance off of your own self, especially because you start something early and then you
Mm-hmm.
have the ability in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s to leverage that
Mm-hmm.
is also saving your family money.
True. So
It's saving you money. It's saving, it's allowing you because to build generational wealth for the people you want to leave something to,
yeah.
it takes multiple pieces.
Right.
It's not just one. If you really want to leave your kids with something, your wife with something, whatever.
Yeah. There's benefits with the permanent life insurance IULs whole life for both parties, the living, and the beneficiary, right? The insured and the beneficiary. Obviously, I think a lot of times, and what I've been encouraging people when they want to go into the whole life space, it's like let's understand that you're doing this for two different groups of people. Two different groups. You're not doing it's not just about the cash value, how I can leverage it. That's phenomenal and it's all wonderful and it's all gravy. But you also are doing it for your loved ones too. Right? It's everyone. It's the whole crib. It's everybody, right? Um, but I think that it just innately or not innately, but with humans, it's just our instinct is to say, what's in it for me? Right? And I would encourage everyone, as I've had to make this shift, is when I look at these types of tools, term, final expense, or permanent life insurance of any kind, the question I think is what's in it for us? No time frame attached to it. Not now, not later. What's in it for us? If that is the proper question you lead with, then what Trish was talking about on here, right? Term, permanent, final expense makes all the sense in the world, right? For term, what's in it for us? You dial that in, makes complete sense. Excuse me. Permanent, final expense, what's in it for us? Makes complete sense. Because, do we really want to leave a burden on our family, Coop? I don't think so. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. About to die over here. Yeah, I don't.
No.
I know y'all don't. So I think really, man, at the end of the day, actually, somebody say something so I can gather myself because I don't know what's going on over here.
What I'm thinking over here is everybody has got let me just say this. I have my own version of generational wealth. I don't think it should mean the same, or it does mean the same to everybody.
I agree with that.
This trifecta, shout out to Trish, this trifecta that she brought to us today, to me, that's a big part of generational wealth.
Right. I agree.
Just covering execution to cover what happens in that first week and the following weeks. To me, that's a big part of generational wealth. Something that the family doesn't have to worry about for the first week or the first month. It doesn't have to have a dollar sign attached to it per se, like this ungodly amount of money.
Right.
It doesn't have to have that.
Right.
It's the fact that the first week is paid for. So they're able to grieve how they want to grieve. They happen to have that space to do that. And then the term kicks in where everything is, or a lot of things is taken care of. And then there's IUL that really doesn't have to be touched and can continue to grow for the kids or the next generation. So to me, in my eyes, that's just a big part of generational wealth.
What you just said, man, it exposed another nugget of generational wealth. Well, you said it without saying it. Because what you started doing and what you were doing is educating us on the power of these tools. And to your point, it's not always money. You see where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
It's teaching our loved ones, our families, this trifecta and why they need to do it too, and what it does and why it doesn't. Understanding the selfless part of it.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean for now and later? It's the educational part, not just the money part.
That's the biggest part of it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part.
Right? Because you can get, let's just say if someone set up, let's say your parents set you up, they had the trifecta, but then you're still, for lack of a better term, a consumerism mindset. You know what I mean? Okay, you're gonna get back at ground zero, or if not a little bit more ahead instead of being behind. But if you're just gonna just blow that all, you're just setting yourself back again, right?
Right. So I think that's part of what you said was, because that right there, there's way more to generational wealth than just the monetary piece. And we focused on obviously a lot of that because of the life insurance piece of it. But the whole overarching point of this entire podcast today has been about educating people, which you brought up. It's like, it's more than just the money.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's what we know, if it stops with you, Larry, and your children don't know anything about this, cool. If your boys don't know nothing about this, if Soul doesn't know anything about this, Trav, like,
stops.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's accountability on us and anyone I think they're watching, man, because what she dropped is better gold than what I think she was even saying. Like what she even probably thought she put out there is understanding this trifecta, and it's so achievable. It's so achievable. A little research, finding your number, and trusting someone to help you find your number. Transparency about what you may need for your family, being completely selfless, and understanding this is about people you love. And if you benefit from it while you're living, great. But they're first. They are first. Man, fellas.
Well, so yeah, even before that, like, look at arguably two of the most popular families in terms of wealth generation. You have the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, and within their family trusts and their wills was mandatory that each person in it has to have life insurance. So it keeps on going, and then that's how you literally the term generation, because it goes through generation, it doesn't stop.
Now, what's the likelihood, AJ, that the ones that are, the descendants, do you think I know there is. Do you think there's a requirement for them to have an education and financial acumen in order to be even included on the trust process?
Yep.
Absolutely, dude.
It's kindergarten.
It's kindergarten. You ain't gonna have, you're gonna have your generational, wealth and funds and resources and everything you built for 5-6 generations. Now cousin Willie Lump's got it, and he don't want to learn nothing, but he's now got everything. And then you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just blows up on you. So that's a great point, dude. That's a great point. Any final words from you guys, man, before we wrap up? Coop, what you got?
I don't know. Larry hit on a couple points. One is, Larry, when you said when you were in your 20s, you wish you would have known about it. So do I, right? None of us knew about it, right? Because our parents didn't know about it. Or to your point, Mondo, they had negative experiences.
Right.
And so I don't really know if it's really about, we talk about generational wealth, which that's a part of it, but it's really about generational protection before the wealth comes.
Yeah.
Man, what you said right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull Ocho. Wait, let me write that down real quick.
It's,
That's a good one.
Term policies and IULs and all that for myself. I got to do what my wife has to do, and so do my kids, right? And my kids will certainly be in a better financial situation than I was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times generational wealth is.
It's not even going to be my kids; it's going to be my grandkids.
Yes,
there you go.
See,
those are the ones, and the generations behind them. Those are really going to reap the financial benefits.
Yes.
And at that point, it becomes generational because all that information just keeps getting passed down as a requirement, right?
Yes.
And if you got your funds, you got your trust set up and everything, the circle is complete.
Yes.
And your family will never run out of money, right? And you'll have that institutional knowledge, and that just passes down and passes down.
Whew. Trav, what you got? Close us out, man.
I mean, I think institutional knowledge with no debt is significantly better than $2 million liquid that gets blown.
Hey, say that again. Write that down.
I mean, it's just what everyone else is saying. Institutional knowledge with no debt, right? You're not leaving behind debt is better than leaving behind $2 million liquid that gets divvied up and then spent.
And blown.
Mm-hmm.
Because that creates more damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo! Bringing the fire today. Man, I didn't know y'all was going to come in 2026 that hot, fellas. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, hey, we're going to get out of here, man. We can talk forever. You know we can do that. We want to definitely encourage everyone to dig into what we said. Ask questions. If you want to reach out to us, you can definitely find us. There'll be all the information in the description below the video. Reach out, comment, give us something that you want to talk about. You can reach out as far as a consultation, phone call, email, whatever you want to do. Blow a smoke signal. Somebody will see it. AJ will. So make sure you guys have a phenomenal, phenomenal day. 2026 is going to be alive, man. I'm telling you, it will be for so many people. So let's lean into it. Have a phenomenal day, fellas. Y'all be cool. Everyone, y'all have a good one. See ya.